Do you believe that the U.S. attacks over the weekend managed to take out what the intended targets, the centrifuges, the stockpiles, everything else? Because, I mean, the IAEA has been in with their sensors, and they're saying, look, radiation levels aren't any higher than normal, right? Which is great if you're a human being, but also suggests that if the attack had been successful, radiation levels would be considerably higher, notably higher, and when you connect the dots, suggests that potentially Iran could have moved all the good stuff, that is the stuff that was intended to be targeted, well before the attacks. What do you think?
I think it's increasingly clear that the United States hit an empty facility in which the most important stuff, perhaps not all of the centrifuges, but the stockpile already had been removed. The absence of radiation is not conclusive evidence of that, but strongly suggests that there was no enriched uranium, particularly not 60% level there. The amount of 60% enriched uranium the Iranians have, which would be enough for a handful of bombs, can fit into roughly 12 or 13 trunks of regular cars. The Iranians could have easily removed this before the event. They actually said that they already had started taking it out as soon as the Israelis attacked. So it seems like the United States may have hit an empty facility, certainly done some damage to it, certainly done some damage to other places where the Iranians have a nuclear facilities. But the idea that they have destroyed the Iranian nuclear program seems to be very far from the truth at this point. And the fact that the stockpile has not been destroyed is probably the most important thing in this entire equation, because it means that the Iranians can rather quickly reconstitute everything. Now, in regards to what we heard here, I do agree that this is probably the beginning of a new phase. I do believe that when the dust settles, there's going to be a lot of rethinking in a lot of different places, in which there's going to be the conclusion that if this is the manner that things work, in which the United States, a nuclear weapon state, Israel, a nuclear weapon state, can attack a non-nuclear weapon state, Iran, that has its program inspected, regardless of whatever suspicions we may have about what they're doing, in the midst of negotiations, and even the Europeans come out and endorse it and claim that this was compatible with international law, this sends shockwaves throughout the entire world, making it quite clear that if you have the capacity of building a nuclear deterrence, you may want to do so quietly, in secret, and in 5 to 10 years, we may have a much larger number of nuclear weapon states than we do today as a result of this.
Indeed. Do you believe that the end result of these attacks is literally to have driven the Iranian nuclear program not physically underground, but literally to be continued and pursued covertly, secretly? Because, you know, you're saying the stuff can fit into the trunk of 12 cars, and satellite imagery in the days before the attack showed a queue of vehicles at Fordo. So that's likely what happened. So is this going to go underground, figuratively? One, is Iran going to pull out of the NPT and make outside verification and inspection and eyes on almost impossible?
I hope that some of those things do not happen, but I think the threat of it will be there. And I also do think that it will be much more difficult to strike a deal in which the inspections levels are of such a level that the United States, the other parties, will feel comfortable that Iran's pathway to a bomb have been blocked. Not because the technology has changed, but because the desire and the determination to achieve a nuclear deterrent may be much, much stronger now than it was before Iran was attacked. So this is one of those side effects of Trump having done this in the first place, which I personally think was quite unnecessary. I think if Trump had stuck to his original red line, no weaponization, instead of adopting the Israeli red line, no enrichment, a shift that he did halfway through the negotiations, had he not done that, I think the Iranians and the Americans may already have reached a framework agreement by now, without any bombing, without anyone getting killed, and without any damage to the non-proliferation treaty.